Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya Om.
Atmam bodhestarango smyagamiti gamane bhavayan asanastha samvit sutrani viddo manirahamiti va asmindriyatta pratitau drashto smyatma balokaditi shayanavidau magna anandazindau Antarnishto mumukshuhu sakalutanubhritam yonayat eva mayuhu. How an aspirant in this path is to live. That's what Shankaracharya says in this slokam. When he is moving around, he should be like a wave in the ocean of consciousness. When he is sitting, he is a gem strung in the unbreakable thread of consciousness. And when he is perceiving objects, he is intuiting that all objects are enlivened by the Atman or consciousness. Or the other way of putting it is, every object is dancing in front of him because of consciousness. And when he is going to bed, he feels he is immersing himself in the ocean of consciousness, so that when he gets up, thinking that he is coming out of the ocean of consciousness or awareness. So like that, if you practice, you will become that. That's what the promise is given. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Neelkantanji. Can you put that up, please?
Okay, I'll put that up.
Thank you, Neelkantanji. Thank you.
Anyone wants to say anything or talk about anything or ask?
Just going to ask something, Sandy.
Yes, Andy, go ahead.
So I've been doing a bit of prayer lately, and I keep getting caught up on who to pray to, whether to pray to Shiva or pray to Bhagavan. I just thought I'd sort of pose that as a bit of a something that, it's kind of been on my mind that I wanted to bring up on,
Look, I think prayer to any name goes to the same name or same nameless absolute, Whatever you want to say, it's all right. Whatever name you want to say. Bhagwan, Shiva, without name doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. If you see, I love this Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya. The reason I love this one is it is so beautiful. It incorporates everything. It incorporates Bhagavan's name, Ramana. It incorporates Arunachala. If you see, Father and Son is same, Absolute and we, Arunachala and Ramana, God and Jesus. It is the same. It is the same essence. It is no different. But one which is so vast and unknown, and we are that, doesn't mean that it is blasphemy. We are taking over from God. But it is like father and son thing. There was a Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, another saint in Tirunavalai. He always used to say, my father, I am beggar, he is my father. My father has done to me, my father. It is the same thing. Whatever comes from your heart, whatever you want to say, doesn't matter. It is immaterial. What name you take, doesn't matter. But your prayer should have that intense love, longing, belonging to whatever entity you call that absolute as. So you become that. If you become Shiva, you become Jesus, you become Ramana, you become that pure self only, nothing else. So it doesn't matter. But because you asked, so I told you that I love this Arunachala Ramana, which to me is like whole father and son together, just absolute. So yeah.
What was that one? What was that again? Sorry.
If you see all videos now, what we do, this prayer goes before Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya. Arunachal and Ramana both together. Arunachal is Shiva only, and Ramana is also Shiva. It is a bhav, it is just your divine emotional feeling, which you can say anything what you love.
Could you post that, please, Sanjay?
Thank you.
It is Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om Namo. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, what Andy is saying, I really love his idea of a prayer, because prayer or devotion makes your journey very fast, and also with some spice in it, like love and belongingness. Because sometimes on this Gyan Marga, it becomes so dry. So dry. So some bhajans, some prayers, poems, all these are good. It keeps you going. And like, it's two wings of the same bird. Bhakti and your Gyan, both goes together. Both are so loving. And I think Andy shared one of these Neeb Karori Baba's video also. That was so beautiful. I watched it, that was amazing. The love and because he never actually taught any path to anyone. He never said that do meditation. Anyone asked him how to know God, he said love everyone. But saying love everyone and loving everyone is so different, isn't it? We all say love everyone, but can you love everyone? Do you love everyone? If you love everyone, then yes, that is so easy. You're already that. And that's what he always said, love everyone, love everyone. So people, Westerners, when they used to come to Neem Karori Baba, Maharshi, they used to say, and they come from different spheres and, doing meditation for 2 months or 3 months and different types of vipassana and all, and used to come, and he used to make joke of them. Simple reason, like Bhagavan, who is meditating? Bhagavan will ask this question, who is meditating? Who is this? Who is doing all this drama of meditation and going to an ashram and sitting like this and doing all the alternate nostril breathing? Who is that? Why is he doing it? So, nip on the bud, Bhagavan used to always say, who is doing it? Who is suffering? Who am I? And he used to just pinpoint this thing. So just get rid of that, which is doing all this drama of finding someone or doing something or, acting like you are reaching somewhere. Because this who is acting to reach somewhere will never reach. Actually, he has to finish. It is all mind game. It's all part of this dream, illusion, reaching, doing, acting. It never takes you anywhere. So that's why Bhagavan's path is not even a path. It is a pathless path. You just finish that thing which is having this doership role. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Whatever action it wants to accomplish and wants to prove that it has done, it has achieved. Because in our life, we have always done like this, we work hard and then we achieve a result by an action, by doing something, by practicing a technique. We do different things like playing sports or technical things, even driving car. But this, what we are, we have to undo all the doing. We have to get rid of this doership and just be what we are. So there is no doing in it, actually. This is all we have to understand. So whatever is happening, you attend satsang, you go to work, you sleep, you are awake, you do action, you sit. But in all these things, you just stay as awareness. Now, stay as awareness can be very difficult for so many people, because they say when they do work, they get so much absorbed in work, they don't remember to stay aware. But that's okay. That's not at all an issue. The issue is when you have this aham bhav, ego, that I am doing, that should not be there. And then when someone says something and you feel hurt, that means there is some aham bhav, there is this ego which gets hurt, because I still take this entity as me, this body mind. Otherwise, nobody is inserting that pure absolute awareness. Nobody can do that. Nobody even knows that. The one who knows that will only respect it, love it. And the one who is trying to seek can feel it when they come close to you. But nobody knows that. They only insult a body mind, and that's not at all an issue. That's never an issue. Because you are not identifying with that. So if you feel bad with any insult to this body mind, that means you are still identifying yourself with the body mind. And so this is a very good check. So stay as a witness to whatever is happening. It doesn't matter that you have to sit and then just keep watching. You let the body do, let the mind do what it is doing or it has to plan, but you just watch. Know that there is a huge gap between you and the mind. You pay attention to this awareness. When you stay as awareness, you can very well identify this ghost in you known as ego, this aham bhav, this attitude which actually identifies with the body-mind complex. It is so easy to identify when you stay as awareness, when you stay as a witness. And what happens in this witness mode, This doership, the one who is running around and getting all the thrashing and beating and insult, and then actually he gets a lesson in a hard way, you understand very clearly. The moment you speak from that egoistic attitude, someone slaps you on your face, not literally, but there is an argument or things don't go right, or and then it is this, by this method you understand that I have to just completely be like dust. I have to finish off this ahem bhav, this ego identity. In Bhagavan's time, Bhagavan actually, even though he was enlightened, realized, but still if something went wrong with his body mind and due to some reason, he used to say, yes, look, this is a lesson. Why I did this? It was a lesson to me. I remember once Bhagavan was trying to explore in hill, and he went through some bush or something, or he was moving the tree or something. He was going towards a tree, which is, I think, is considered to be a sacred tree. And then when he was trying to reach there, there were some bees or something which attacked him and bite him, and he had a swollen face, or all those bites, or maybe ants climbed on his feet. So he had bit of issue there, and he said, look, I got a lesson. Why I was going that side, why I did this, look, I got a lesson. So clarity, even though there was no ego in it, but the body went there and the body suffered, and he said, yes, that's true. Why the body went there? Whatever the interest of the body is, look, it got a beating. So that type of clarity we should have when we get a beating, not defending that ourselves, why someone is doing like this to me. No, just watch why it is happening, and you will get the answer at that moment. This is what is happening. There is an ego. It needs to be finished, and that is Bhagwan's grace, that this person in front of me is insulting me, to finish that ego. And you feel that love and you feel that grace. So this is the way it is working from both sides. You are trying to finish it off, and Bhagwan has sent all these critics around you to finish it off. So it's everyone is doing a job for you. So this understanding is very important. And then there is no path. There's nothing else. There's no need to meditate about anyone, anything. It is just you, only a witness. When you stay like an uninvolved witness in intense debates and small things and big things, you always know that this thing which is more interested in gossip around things or objects, you can identify that. And the moment you pay attention to that, it actually dissolves. It has no power of its own. When you believe in mind, when you believe in ego, ego has power. But when you not identify, but stay just like awareness, then that power you have taken away from ego. And then that's why you feel so calm, you feel so cool. I'll tell you, most of the time, all this entertainment industry is running because of our ego only. Because this is the characteristic of the mind. It is the nature of mind to keep looking for things around by sensory organs, by our different sense perceptions, whether it's food, taste. If you see entertainment industry, what it is about taste, about sensual gratification, about visual, about auditory, about touch. There's nothing else. These are the things, and so they are trying to indulge you in those things. And so the mind goes, and then when the mind goes, it gets that excitement out of it, and it thinks it is happiness, and because it was looking for that and it gets it, so it settles for a moment. But then it becomes addicted, and then it wants more of that, because when it's not there, then it feels that it is missing something. Nowadays they say this thing as FOMO, fear of missing out. People are always indulging in one thing or the other, or parties or social interaction. And if they are not somewhere, they feel very depressed and sad that they've missed out that party. What is this? This game is all about mind. This whole world is going on because not of self, because of the mind only, because of ego only. And when we understand this, then we understand that there's no point in going out, because the moment mind goes out, it gets a slap. Like it's a carrot and red. What do you call it? Carrot and slap. So you go out, stick and carrot. So you go out, you think you will get a carrot, you get a carrot, and then you get a stick, and then you come back. Best is just to stay as your own blissful self. So the thing is, identify what is this blissful self, what I am. I am always that. And so the mind which entices, which takes us on this journey of joy and suffering, actually has no clue about it. But you are that awareness. So you stay as awareness, and the mind comes and mind talks to you. And now you know that it has no clue, and you are the boss. Mind is just a gadget. It's a part of matter. And because you're not identifying anymore with it, it will come back. Soon it will drop all its, asking you to move. It will come back to the heart. And when your mind becomes completely quiet, no trace of thoughts, when it sees that pure silence within, it will never leave. Why will it leave? Your mind always thought that all comfort, pleasure is in things, in beings, in events around you. But when one fine day, when you have stopped listening to its tantrums, it comes back home, and it sees that everything is at home. All what it was seeking outside in things through sensory organs is already there. And not just already there in a small quantity, infinite joy, infinite bliss, infinite peace. Not momentary, not transient, not the joy after which there is suffering, not that having alcohol and followed by hangover. There is no hangover here. And you can drink as much wine as you want. You can get drunk with this wine. Nothing will happen. You will have more wine coming towards your side. It is so, this divine wine within you is non-ending, never-ending. And to reach this, you have to make some discipline for the mind. The main discipline is that you have to get this mind, taste this divine wine at least once, at least maybe for a second, maybe for a fraction of a second. That is the whole spiritual gymnastics and all sadhana and practice and all, because this jiva, this ego identity which has moved in this world as this body mind consciousness because of conditioning, because of a habit, has to know what actually it is. And once it knows, then all these different bodies and jumping will finish. It has to taste its own divine nectar only once, maybe even for a fraction. Once it knows, it can never forget, it will never leave, because there is so much of joy here. Look within, and everything is here. Whatever you call as kingdom of God or love or peace, whatever these all religions gives you, but they give you, I don't know, they give you, but they don't give you. They promise, but they don't give you anything. Actually, all of them do a bad propaganda for God. So people nowadays hate religion, hate any talk on God, because of the institutionalization of all these they have lost the essence how to be here. And they take responsibility from you to be there. And they say they will take you there. Middlemen, we don't need any middlemen. These all middlemen are dodgy. Who is middleman? Actually, you already had a middleman which is giving so much of problem. And we are all there to get rid of this bloody middleman. Who wants more middlemen? Just get rid of this middleman which is within you, called as mind or ego or whatever, and it takes you outward. Just get rid of this middleman. And then what is left is you, pure self. Brahman, that God. You are so high. You are that ultimate truth. In all these religious institutions, you will find a lot of middlemen, hierarchy, and my God, we are suffering from this middleman within us. Let's get rid of this only. No, whatever religion, wherever background you come, you can be an atheist, doesn't matter. You have everything. You have all that stuff, what can take you back home. If it is so easy that someone else can do it for you, then Bhagavan could have done it for all the people around him at that time. But then there were people who got it and then people who couldn't get it. He's because it is just between you and God, and you only. You minus mind, you minus ego is that supreme. So you have to get rid of this. And the simple thing is you can't control it. Like I am saying, whatever I'll say, I'm saying only what Bhagavan has said, how the Bhagavan has told us, and what I have used as Bhagavan's teachings. Look, there are thousands of paths. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but if someone is interested, they can do that. But don't mix up too many paths together. Some of those paths are about control. Hatha yoga, you control breath, control body, control. No need to see who's controlling and finish that. This is so beautiful what Bhagavan has told us. That's why, in spite of having all the Siddhis, all that, which any realized person gets spontaneous, he never talked about anything. He actually shunned all those Siddhis also. And there are so many godmen who actually are famous because of showing all those things, which is okay. So they have a different type of people who get attracted to those things. Magics, chamatkar. Bhagavan never actually promoted it, because he knows that whoever is interested in those things, if they know that I am not doing and I'm not showing and I don't have, in a way, people will go away who are looking for those things. So only the true seekers will stay there, because there is no drama happening here. No more work for the mind with a lot of experiences and this and that. So many paths. If you see Kundalini and all these things, there are so many experiences. And once you have taste of experiences, then the mind actually is looking for more experiences rather than finishing off the mind. So this path is so easy, so simple, can be practiced 24 hours, 7 days a week, non-stop, till this middleman completely disappears. And then what is left is what it is always the same. You can't get rid of this. Don't think that if you keep getting rid of things, this, then this absolute will go away. The absolute is the only thing which will be left. Let's say you clean your house, you have this spring cleaning. Don't think that the walls will disappear, or the whatever is left after that cleaning, there will be still that space will be there, Nobody can take away that space. That space is us.
So it's called Adisesha, original residue.
Yeah. Beautiful. So just have that intense vigilance, not seeing others. Let's say when we are in society, we are always knowing how others are behaving, what is their behavior towards us, how is their behavior towards others. We act like a policeman and telling that these people are not right. A seeker has no time. He has no time to look what is people are doing or not doing. He is just looking within. He's not finding faults with anyone. He's just looking to this middleman, what next drama he is going to do. And just because you are so aware, it stops doing all the stupid stuff, because he's in constant surveillance. He's always in your camera, your security camera. And so finally, he just settles. Not settles, he disappears, because he's just false. There's nothing there. This doer who thinks he's mind-body complex, he's planning, he's doing, he has created his own small little world. Like every man lives like a little island, its own. When you watch it, this disappears, and this whole universe becomes yours. Actually, it is all ours, without any boundaries. Just like birds, they fly all over. They're not territorial, they just fly all over the world. Same is this awareness. It is just everywhere. And to be that, you just have to give up whatever creates boundary. All these things create boundary, isn't it? Religions, caste, creed, nationality, race, color, education, society, hierarchy, jobs. So many ways we divide this pure awareness. We differentiate into so many classes and subclasses, though it is undifferentiated pure awareness, without a name, without a form. You can call by any name you want, but you should have that understanding what it is. Otherwise, mind will create an image and you are stuck up with that image. It is beyond all concepts. It does not know, it has no job, no profession, no name, no family. It is just nothing. And that's what you are. It's only the ego which is identified by your resume, not you. Your resume is a clean page. There's nothing there. To be that what it is, there's nothing needs to be done except be aware of it, accept it, respect it, and then don't have any doubt about it. If a doubt comes, just watch it, because all the doubts are of mind only. And mind will keep creating doubts until you believe in it. Your belief in mind is keeping it alive and real. So the process of sadhana, of the practice, is to de-learn. We have learned so much now. No more to learn. I think just de-learn, just decondition yourself. Just stay as awareness. Remember your awareness. Whatever you have learned, whatever you know is too much. There is no need to keep learning things. Look, if your job needs things to be learned, it will do it. But it's not you. Remember that. All these concepts in the word for so many things, and knowledge unending for things, and concepts changing all the time about every aspect. It's all part of Maya. It's all illusion. Can you preserve all this knowledge? Are you sure you can preserve it? So many times there is an ice age, things have disappeared. We start from the scratch again from the Stone Age and then reach there. It is all like a child's play. You make houses in clay and then you demolish yourself. It is just Leela. This is such a beautiful word, Leela. Leela is play. It's God's Leela, God's play. If whatever you're doing, if you take it also as a play, then you don't suffer. If it happens, it happens. Doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just like kids make sand castles. It's not more than that. So remembering that pure awareness is the only thing. And by remembering means not identifying with the body-mind. Not identifying with the body-mind means that whatever is happening, don't have any doership. Don't give yourself credit or discredit about anything. Every day you see in your own life, take wisdom from your life. Every day happens in a different... Okay, so many people plan a day. They are planners. Morning they wake up, I'll do this, I will finish this in this time, this. So jam-packed. And then just see what happens. The day takes its own turn. Some of the stuff you can't even do. Some of them you might get sick, or someone doesn't turn up, and then you feel agitated and frustrated because your ego has planned a day in this way. But divine planning is something else, and you feel so irritating. Irritation comes and unhappiness comes, and anger comes, and all this negative energy comes. But let's say if you have left it to the divine planning, though probably you have to go to work, you still get up and you do things. But whatever happens, you just accept, because you are watching that doer. When you watch the doer doesn't disturb you. It only disturbs when you are doer. When you are observer, nothing actually disturbs you. And when it becomes your natural way to live as an observer, as a witness to everything which unfolds in front of your eyes, then you're always in that bliss. And as the time passes, this bliss gets more and more deeper and deeper, because your all connections are gone. So this complete freedom. Our bondage is with these attachments. Like someone is being bonded by ropes, bondages, and freedom means there's no bondage, no attachment. But love, definitely, love is there, but not specific for this person or that person, or for your pet, or for your family. It is just love. It is so pure. And it does not know give and take. There's no give and take in it. This ego, this doership, becomes so clearly identified when you pay attention to awareness. And when you pay attention to awareness, in this awareness, you see everything unfolding in front of you, inside you and outside you. And in this light of awareness, Your own mind creates doubts because it is death of your mind. Mind cannot tolerate its own death. Staying as awareness, not touching to anything, not moving outside, actually really frustrates your mind, because then that the owner of this mind body complex is exposed. He's hiding in coverage. He's conditioned, and the main thing why it is survived so long, just because everyone is surviving in the same way all around us. Everyone, all human beings. So when this thief meets other same types of thieves, it feels so secure because nobody is exposing him, because all of them wants appreciation from you for their own ego, and then they appreciate your ego. So ego appreciating ego, and egos be getting bigger and bigger. The other day, I read an article in which they says nowadays in corporate world, there are huge egos with 4 limbs attached to them. This is society. This is the way conditioned society is living. So if you want to be free, you have to understand where the problem is. Problem is in the root cause. I thought, ahem bhav, this ownership of this body mind. We didn't bring this body mind in this world. We have no control on birth. We have no control on death. We were there before this body. We will be there after this body. Then in between, how we have decided that we have control. Who told us this? Something which we haven't brought. And we had no control when we were born. We can't even remember how we looked when we were born. Someone else took care of us, our parents or relatives or whoever. And small intelligence came to us, and we started having a control. We became control freak. Where was the control when we were born? If you can reach those years in your life when you had no clue, then you're free right now. Those initial years of your birth, there was no ego. There was nothing there. Not even a concept that you are this body mind. There are some people who have, unfortunately, they have issues when they are born intellectually disabled or whatever. Still, there is so much of help for them in form of their parents or whatever it is, relatives or services. And they survive. Survive their whole life, whatever their life is supposed to be. Just watch this thing in us, which takes control. This is devil in us. This is the thief in us. This has to go if you want to see God. And to get rid of this, stop acting like that. Stop acting from the ego mode. When you stop acting from ego mode, lot of things what you were doing will dissolve. Lot of your connections, relationships will dissolve. Lot of habits will dissolve. Lot of interest will dissolve. So many changings will happen, has to happen. You can't keep all what this ego is doing and still think the ego will go away. How can it go away? Watch intensely all the actions of the body and all the thoughts of the mind without judging, without commenting, but don't be part of it. Don't be part and parcel of it. If you do that, all this doership will slowly and slowly fade away because it's unreal. It only survives in your ignorance. With light of your attention, in light of awareness, it finishes off. It cannot sustain. Your own light is so powerful. It is live wire, high voltage. This cannot sustain. Ego cannot survive this seeing. Just like what Bhagavan did when people came to see him. They came with dozens of questions in front of him, and when they came, their mind dissolved. Boom. Nothing left. Sometimes they couldn't even see Bhagavan, they just saw some light there. Because what happened in presence of Bhagavan was that they had their own seeking, which was elevating, and then they found the same level of higher consciousness there, which elevated them and finished and deconstructed their ego. And for some of them, it was just a finish off forever. For some, there was some work needs to be done. But I would give credit to all those people because they were at that level where they could pick up that spark from Bhagavan. Not everyone found that happening. Like Bhagavan gives example of some seekers are like gunpowder. They come close to Bhagavan, they boom, gone. And some are like charcoal, it takes a little bit time for them to burn. And some are like that green trees, or banana trees, which has to first dry up and then it will take fire. And if you see, Bhagavan says that these people are so quick, like it just happened like this, who came to him. We don't even know their names because they came, they got, and they left. And then there were people who took some time, like most of the devotees of Bhagavan who were realized souls, which we know. And then there were some others who took longer path. If you follow Bhagavan's teachings, people who took years were the third category. So that means you have to be in either of these three categories. Even if you're in third category, it will take few years. So that's the good news. Your vigilance, your attention is more important than anything else. It is not a institution. It is not, you are not living in a ashram where there is a rule book and you have to follow the rule book and then only you will get. You are your own rule book. Bhagavan's sadhana is tough in a sense that he says it, you just continue doing it till it's done. Like flow of oil or flow of a river. You just stay in awareness. And he says you have to continue doing till there is last trace of thought left. What is trace of thought? Why it's all about thought? Thought is for one who thinks he's this body mind, a doer. Thought is not for awareness. Awareness doesn't know any thought. Awareness has nothing to do with any thought. Awareness is not interested in anything or interested in everything. That's same. When you stay as awareness, there is no role of thought for you. No role of any thought. Because there is so much of bliss. Mind creates thoughts to get you involved in something or the other, which can tantalize your senses, can get you somewhere, because it is restless, because it's seeking happiness in something or some being or some situation, future or past. But when you know that you are that peace, then there is no job left for the mind. Mind cannot take you out for a party when the party is already going on inside. Mind tells you, let's go to a party tonight, we'll have few drinks, dance, music, and you will love it, you will have enjoyment. And it comes to awareness with this proposal. Awareness is already so happy. It is in perfect bliss. So mind comes with this proposal, awareness doesn't say anything. And the mind doesn't know this, and then mind goes away and then brings another proposal and then another. And one day this mind thinks, I should see why this awareness is not moving. And when it comes here, it is the end of mind forever. Because it tastes that pure nectar, which it has no clue. This outside reflection, looking for things, is called as mind. It is the reflection, it is taking the same energy from the awareness, from self, and moving outward. But when it looks within, because you are not moving, you are not going with mind, it comes here because there is no doer whom it can entice. It comes here and gets dissolved forever. Because now it knows you will not move. You know yourself. You know the reality. You can't be in Maya anymore. No one can elude you. You know what you are. And so you are free. Actually, a jnani is free not just from his own mind. He is free from all the minds in the world. No one can bribe a jnani. Okay, if you go to someone, how can you bribe? You can bribe by money, by name, by fame, by sex. What can you bribe? You can only bribe sense organs. You can only bribe a body. You can only bribe a mind which believes in body-mind complex. You can't bribe awareness. Not even by tasty foods. Awareness doesn't know any food. Does not need anything. Does not need any clothes. It's pure naked awareness. It has no name, no form, no sex. Who can bribe awareness? You can only bribe ego. Be that one which only knows to give, not to take anything. Be that always which is giving, only giving. Be the one which is humble, so humble that it does not know what humility is. Person is known by the company he keeps. Keep that godly company with you. Trust that God within you. Be one with that. Dissolve in that. Inseparable. That is yoga. That is union. When the ego dissolves, it merges in this pure awareness. This pure awareness is Shiva, Ramana, Jesus, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. Your own pure self. Where there is no movement. Where there is always a stillness. How to make peace? When your ego gets into pieces. When your ego is no more there. Then only a human being can have real peace. Eternal peace. And if any seeker also is striving for that peace, even if he can't reach there right now, but because of that fragrance of that eternal peace, he will imbibe all those qualities. There is no other way to have peace in the world than knowing your own self. All other things are sure going to fail. The moment you know yourself, you are at peace. And you can only give to others what you have. If you have peace, you can give peace. If you have love, you can give love. If you have hate, you will give hate. If you have anger, you will give anger. And this is the quality of pure awareness. It is only love, nothing else. It only knows giving. It does not work on any business model. It does not know any business model. Its business is just to give. Be that. Give away this smelling ego. Ego will always give you this sense of achievement that I have done this, whatever I am today, I am because of my hard work and my abilities. There's nothing my. If you would have been born as intellectually disabled, would you have done anything? It is all grace. Grace works on everyone in different ways. When we realize this pure awareness, our ego in shame actually dissolves in shame. It feels so shame that what I was proud of. By this body mind, a filthy body, which is going to be dust soon, which is aging, and I love it so much. When you give up this identity, then you become everything. Even if you work on a business model, I think this is the best take on it. You give up this body mind and then you become everything. You're never at loss knowing God. And you're missing everything if you don't know God. God is closest to you even than you. Even your ego is its reflection. Your ego is working by its power only. Even when you hate God or people say all sorts of things, He doesn't say anything. Look how this is humility. He still gives you what you want. But a seeker only wants God. That is his problem. He doesn't want anything, he wants only God. And so God gives him himself. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Pandavas, they asked for Krishna only. While all the army went to the others, Kauravas, they said, we want you only. So that is the thing what a seeker wants. Seeker wants only God. He's not interested in anything. And as God is full of compassion, He gives Himself to you. Path of bhakti, path of jnana is exactly like whatever is happening in the world. People are putting their mind into things and they get those things. But yes, to get those things, what you want, you might not get satisfied because that's the nature of mind. You want more and more and more. Here, if you're after God and you get God, it just multiplies, quadruples. It becomes infinite and it never ends. And you are so contented, so peaceful. And I have never come across one single person in the world who, after realizing God, has said that, look, I think this was a bad choice. I should have looked for something else. Or he would have moved out of it and said, I should have asked something else, My God, I'm in trouble. Not one single person has said that. But I have heard thousands of stories that people were after money, after name, after fame. At the end, they said, this was a wrong choice. I should have never looked for these things. Another thing, if you are after materialistic things, it is law of karma. You have to put that much of efforts to get that thing. Action is needed, lot of perseverance and things. Here, there is no law of karma. You could have done the worst things in the world. You could be thinking you are a sinner, but if you have longing, you will get it. No one checks your past record to be with God. This is the beauty of it. And it is 100% you will get it. Without exception, there is not one single exception that a person who was seeking God, he couldn't get it. I have never come across anyone. While I have come across thousands of people who were after a job or money or name or whatever, and they couldn't get it. If you want this to happen immediately, then don't trust any thought coming to the mind that you are not that pure awareness. And just stay as pure awareness. And be watchful of all what mind brings and wants to act in the ego mode. Just watch it. Your watching will dissolve it. Don't entertain any thoughts. All the thoughts are designed for that jiva, for that ego which thinks I'm the body mind. But you know, or at least you have faith that you are pure awareness. You were even before this body and you will be after this body. Stay like that. Stay as impersonal presence. Don't be advocate of this body mind or any body mind. Just stay neutral. Good thing comes to the body, bad things comes to the body. Whatever comes, goes, doesn't matter. Body doesn't belong to you. Why do you worry? You are just renting it for such a short duration. Maybe 100 years, I don't know. And it will dissolve. So stay as pure awareness which has come into this body, giving energy to the body. When you stay like that, then you realize that, no, I am not in this body. Body is in me. I am outside, I am inside, I am up, I am down, I am everywhere, I am everywhere. The body is in me. How do you know that? When you give up your identification with the body mind. Otherwise, you get restricted to this body mind. But when you stay as awareness, you start receding. Actually, it happens. In reality, it happens. You start receding from the body mind. And then it becomes again very hard to think that you are body mind. If you want to go back, you can't. It's a one-way ticket. You can't come back to again that same. You can't. It can't happen. Once this illusion goes away, it cannot come back. If it comes back, that means you were dhongi, you were just faking, you have never actually been there. Who takes off your guarantee of your realization? Nobody. Nobody knows. Only you know. You should know where you are. Where is your standing? Recede away from this identity as much as you can. Go so far that it becomes huge gap. Actually, there is a huge gap. This mind and this body is matter. Matter changes all the time. Matter is transient. Matter will finish one day. You are eternal. You are unchanging. You are only a witness. You're always the same. How can you mix up yourself with the body mind? It is the biggest mistake. It is a huge blunder. Whom to blame? Who has put us into this thing? Our mind or others' mind or the society or conditioning? What it is? All of it. How to get out of it? By not getting involved in the mind. Giving up this identity with the mind. Listening to someone who has done it. Reading scriptures of people who have done it. Attending to a group who is interested in it, which we call as satsang. And then prayer, asking for grace. Because it's all game of grace only. At the end, it is a game of grace only. Grace picks you. Grace allows you to see your own self. Don't think by practice you can do it. No. You can only give it a try. And that try or that practice happening is also with that grace. When you believe in grace rather than efforts, this helps in dissolving that ego, that doership. It is very, very important. Have faith in that awareness. 100% faith. It will do everything for you if you have faith. You call that as Ramana, you call it that as Shiva, Jesus, doesn't matter. That is you only. Yourself is you only. With all the devotion, with faith, with respect, with love, with attention, it will work for you. It has to work for you. If you are genuinely interested, if you genuinely want to know yourself, self will reveal you your own self. It becomes so intense that you feel it hard to believe that the body is still around. Because internally you are so free from this body that you stop feeling this body. Only when there is hurt, there is pain, then you start feeling that yes, this is happening to the body, which is with me, still there around me, moving with me. Let's say you are carrying a smartphone in your hand. Do you become smartphone by just carrying in your hand? You are carrying this body just like a gadget. Do you become this gadget? Do you know your name? Who kept your name? You have no authority. You have not even kept your name. Someone called you by that name. Be that pure awareness always. If you want to do prayer to your own self. Surrender your ego to yourself. That is the best prayer, best devotion. And stay in your heart all the time. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you everyone, and hope everyone stays in their heart and Get more and more absorbed in this awareness. And allow this awareness to do what it can do for you. Have trust in your own self. And get rid of this middleman, this ego. It has no value. It is false. It's deriving its own light only from you as pure awareness. Respect this pure awareness, stay as pure awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.